Hello gorgeous peeps, this is Chris from TechSpert and I'm here with the Doogee S95 Pro, the most interesting smartphone that I've definitely unboxed in, not just in 2020 obviously because this is my first unboxing of 2020, fanfare, trumpets, etc, but definitely in most recent times. Now Doogee, if you don't already know, is a Spanish smartphone manufacturer specialising in rugged devices and also a cartoon dog. Now the S95 Pro is the most premium smartphone that Doogee offers right now. It's currently on sale for just $369 US via the website, or $469 if you buy this modular set, because it is actually a modular smartphone. So let's just get it unboxed. It looks like we've got another box inside that original box. Oh, and there's all the phone and everything out there as well. I'm glad I didn't just tip that out super violently, otherwise that would have gone flying across the room. So when you buy the modular kit, you don't just get the smartphone itself, the S95 Pro, but you also get the two modular components, similar to the Moto mods you could buy for the Moto Z. So you get a bolt-on secondary battery, which again was one of the Moto mods, and also a HiFi speaker. We'll come back to the mods in a second. First of all, we'll just check out the actual phone itself. And of course, when you think of rugged smartphones, you generally think of basic specs and features shoved away in a chunky, quite ugly chassis. But the S95 Pro definitely looks like a very different proposition indeed. Bundled in the box with the phone, you get the usual boring manual and warranty shenanigans, and you also get a screen protector you can shove onto your Doogee S95 Pro just to give it an extra bit of protection. And as you can see there, we've got a European 2-pin style plug and a bit of Type-C USB cable action to actually charge it up. Oh, and of course a Pokey pin thing to actually get your SIM inside, can't be forgetting that. Now let's check out the actual Doogee S95 Pro itself. So it does actually look like you get a pre-installed screen protector already on there as well, which is great stuff. So that's just a bonus screen protector that you get bundled in the box. And that screen protector is actually sat there on top of a Gorilla Glass 5 display as well. So this screen is better protected than the bloody Pope. Flip it around, and the Doogee S95 Pro isn't made of glass like most modern smartphones. To give it an extra rugged feel, it's made from an aluminium alloy instead. Definitely looks like an absolute beefcake. Look at the size of this thing. It's got a proper heft. It's almost 300 grams. It's around the 285 mark, I believe it is. And actually it looks kind of similar to a gaming smartphone with this funky sort of like X-style design, those, but potentially the antenna. I'm not 100% sure. But it definitely reminds me of the likes of the Red Magic smartphones, things like that. And of course, as you can see there's the connector pins for the modular components as well. And when you've got a mod, you just slap it on the back like so. It's a magnetic connection, and then yeah, good luck fitting this thing in your pocket. Right, we'll cover all of that shenanigans in a bit. As for the rest of the ruggedness creds, well, the Doogee S95 Pro is fully MIL-STD 810G certified. It's passed a bunch of military standard tests basically. Doogee reckons it can survive a drop of up to 2 meters, so it's definitely tougher than a slice of beef-eater black pudding. We'll of course be fully testing that out. And it's IP68 water and dust resistant as well. It can survive a depth of up to 3 meters for around 4 hours according to the website. So that's very impressive stuff, definitely a lot more hardy than most modern smartphones. Quite an interesting selection of buttons and ports as well. So you've got your power button, your volume rocker as standard here on the side. You've also got an edge mounted fingerprint sensor as well, which thankfully is quite low down on the smartphone. It's not right up at the top of the edge like it was on the likes of the Galaxy S10e, so hopefully it should be fairly easy to find and use. And up here at the very top you've got a SIM card slot as well, and it actually looks like it just peels open. I say peels open, I've just wrecked one of my fingernails trying to actually prise it open. Maybe am I doing this wrong? Right, f it, it's time to get the pen involved. Ah, there we go, success. You can see the remnants of some of my fingernails all scattered about there, lovely stuff. And as you can see, once you've actually prized open that waterproof covering, you've then got the actual Pokey pin hole in there, which you need to jab your pin into. And then once you've done that, you need to kind of work the thing out. It's not the easiest, that's for damn sure. And then finally, you can get your SIM card inside the thing and reward yourself with a beer probably. And then as you can see around the other side, you've actually got a secondary SIM card slot for either a second SIM card or also a micro SD memory card up to 128 gigs to boost the onboard 128 gigs of storage. And also a completely mystery bonus button. Well, I've got no idea what it does. Exciting times. So let's get the Doogee S95 Pro all powered up, set up, and take a bit of a tour of the rest of the hardware and the software. Alright, so the Doogee S95 Pro is all set up. It's just busy restoring a backup from a previous Android smartphone that I've used, hence all of the grayed out icons and everything. First impressions of the actual interface and everything, not great. So it's Android Pie, so it's not the latest Android 10 unfortunately. And also in terms of customization and everything, it looks like you're very highly limited here indeed. So if you go to like the home settings for instance, that's your whack. You can't change the resolution, so you can't get more app icons there on the main desktops. And also there's a complete lack of apps tree as well, so all of the apps are bundled there on your desktops, and as far as I can see, there's no way of, unfortunately, getting a proper app tray in there, changing up the home screen, etc. So it looks like I'll be installing a launcher on this thing pretty damn pronto. Doesn't even look like you can get rid of that search bar up at the top to fit more icons in that way, so yeah. Bums. If you jump on into the settings, you'll notice quite a few bonus bits there on top of the standard Android settings. Quite a few typos as well, so navigation bar is all one word for some weird reason. If you go into display and scroll down a bit, you've got top screen display, which is basically a notch hiding setting, kind of similar to what you get on the likes of Huawei and Honor phones. You do get a little dinky notch, as you can see there, poking its way in. You can mask it though if you so desire. You can also set up that side key function as well. So as you can see, there's no operations by default, so it does absolutely bugger all. But you can get it to open up your favorite app. Got a bunch of shortcuts. You can surreptitiously start recording a bit of audio if you're a spy or just a bit nosy. There's also an SOS function on there, which is good to see as well. Although you probably wouldn't want to open that with just one click. You'd probably want to long press or double click it really. You've also randomly got a built-in QR/barcode scanner in there as well. Quite rare to see. You've got bloody loads of gesture support in there as well. So for instance, you can silence an incoming call just by flipping the phone over. System motion, you've got like so 3-fingered screenshots, stuff like that. And then also smart somatosensory, which is in the lock screen, the phone will hand wave and distance sensor location. The phone will automatically unlock standby interface, whatever the hell that means. And quite a few features in here cribbed from OnePlus as well. So for instance, you've got the likes of the gesture wake up, where you can trigger a particular app just by tracing a letter on the screen. And if you go into that navigation bar setting as well, as you can see there, you've got full gesture navigation, similar to the old OnePlus setup, pre-OnePlus 17 and the rest. So for instance, you can swipe up from the left side of the screen to go back, swipe up from the middle to go home, and if you swipe up and hold, then that takes you into your recent apps. Another weird thing I've noticed about this smartphone is it's obviously got all the Google services. I've got all of the apps for the likes of the Play Movies, Play Games, all that sort of shenanigans, and it's downloaded those all from the Play Store, but I don't actually have the Play Store app anywhere on this smartphone, so it looks like I might have to possibly sideload that. But enough about random software shenanigans anyway, let's concentrate on the hardware. And the Doogee S95 Pro has a 6.3-inch Full HD IPS display. As you can see there, pretty bright, reasonably sharp, and nice and colourful as well. Those hues are coming through rather nicely indeed. No problems with viewing angles or anything like that. Of course, you do have fairly chunky bezels surrounding that display, as you can see there, not helped at all by the rather meaty aluminium chassis. So as far as those visuals are going, certainly looking very nice indeed. And if we just boost up the volume as well, chances are by 5 PM this thing will be deader than Jeremy Corbyn's career. You don't get a stereo speaker set up, unfortunately. The audio is output via these two rear mounted speakers. They're actually pointed away from your face, which is a bit of a shame, and also reasonably easy to muffle if you don't watch where you're holding the smartphone. But on the top volume, pretty loud, pretty clear. But one of the undoubted highlights of the Doogee S95 Pro is definitely the battery life. You get a mighty 5,150 milliamp cells stuffed inside, so that's better than the likes of the Moto G7 Power, only just beaten by the likes of the ROG Phone 2. And of course you get that secondary battery pack, which you can slap on at any point as well. Once you do so, as you can see there, you got little LED lights up, just shows you that the Doogee S95 Pro is charging using that secondary pack. It's actually got its own separate Type-C USB port as well, so you can charge that up independently of the phone. And with that slapped on there, you've essentially got what is close to a 9,000 milliamp capacity battery, so that should easily keep you going for a full weekend. And of course, as you can see there, you've got separate little speaker holes, so let's hope that doesn't affect the audio. Oh, thankfully. But despite those flaws, the performance is top drawer and the screen is absolutely stunning. Nope, still seems to be coming through loud and clear. Alternatively, of course, you do have the HiFi modular attachment as well. So that again just slaps on, holds steady via magnets like so, and you just turn it on like this. That dual lens camera offers seriously good HDR smarts and a next level night mode. Well, that definitely really boosts the volume as well. On that top volume, it does seem a little bit sort of crackly and tinny, but certainly a massive improvement over just the standard built-in speakers. And as you can see there, you've got a little stand as well, so you can set it up like so, and then enjoy a jolly bit of text-based action hands-free. Clearly, you might be tempted by is the Fairphone 3. And the HiFi attachment has its own built-in battery, and as you can see there, its own separate, again, Type-C USB port, so you can charge it independently. Touch wood, that edge-mounted fingerprint sensor seems to work absolutely fine. I've actually mapped my naughty little middle finger instead of my standard pointy finger, because that seems to be the most natural, comfortable fit. And you've also got a bit of face unlock action as well, if you want to get that set up. And then hopefully you can use this as a reliable alternative to the old fingerprint sensor. There we go. And then let's see if it actually works. So just tap the power key, and yep, Yep, boom, straight into the desktops. Nice. As for the performance, well, the Doogee S95 Pro is powered by a Helio P90 chipset, which is MediaTek, of course, backed by 8 gigs of RAM. So fingers crossed, should be absolutely fine for your everyday shenanigans. Going to be testing the likes of PUBG Mobile and stuff like that as well to see how it handles a bit of gaming. And you do have a game mode bundled on here too. It's going to be a pretty straightforward affair. Basically just allows you to block notifications and incoming calls, and also clean up the memory before you start a game. And you've also got this weird button mapping thing, which I'm not really sure what that's all about, to be perfectly honest. And then last but definitely not least, we have the camera tech. And as you can see there, the Doogee S95 Pro rocks a triple lens rear camera in a square configuration, complete with the LED flash. It's a 48 megapixel primary lens, very common of course these days among mid-range smartphones, and that's using the Sony IMX582 sensor. And it's also backed by what appears to be an 8 megapixel telephoto lens offering a 2x optical zoom and an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, although the specs are a bit sketchy, the ones that I got direct from Doogee, so don't quote me on that. If you actually jump on into the camera app, as you can see there, you can switch from standard view to an ultra wide angle view with a tap there, and then also to a 2x zoomed in view like so. So nice and straightforward, very similar to the setup on the likes of the Huawei smartphones. You've got an AI scene recognition mode up top, various filters and all the rest. If you dive into video modes, you can also do a bit of zoomy action there, again up to 2x. If we jump into the settings as well, you can see it's set to 1080p, and you can cycle between that 720, 480, and of course good old 4K. And if that's the way you have to change it, that's kind of annoying. I'd rather not cycle, I'd rather just select it from a menu, to be honest, but there you go. Doogee appears to have doubled down when it comes to face tampering as well. You've got a beauty mode, and you've also got a face cute mode. Touch, take picture, press record and video. Oh dear. And a bokeh mode, which of course is just your standard portrait mode, and you do actually have a night mode on there as well. So presumably, like most night modes, that just takes several exposure shots and pieces them all together. So let's check out this face cute mode by switching to the front facing camera. It looks like you've got the usual shenanigans. You can turn yourself into basically Hello Kitty, or what the hell is it? Oh, I'm crying because I hate this all stuff so much. I don't even know what's going on there. I appear to have my head up some sort of giant Kirby-styled creature's asshole. Just kill it with fire. So that in a nutshell is the Doogee S95 Pro. As you can see, an interesting prospect, certainly if you're looking for something that's suitably rugged, that can survive all kinds of outdoor abuse, and also have that crazy good battery life. So good if you're going to be hitting the trail for, you know, a good 2-3 days, and you don't want to worry about packing lots of massive power chargers and all the rest of it, then this seems like it will do the job. Not convinced by the software side of things, of course. Gonna have to slap on a launcher to bring back the likes of an apps tray, and not really sure where the Play Store app has buggered off to, but there you go. So are you tempted by the Doogee S95 Pro? It'd be great to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you!